The Cosmic Nightmare: Why Fear of Space Might Be Our Most Rational Terror, sponsored by Ground News. Transform yourself into a more informed and critical thinker about world events. Use my link in the description for 40% off their unlimited access Vantage plan. The universe is not only stranger than we imagine, it is stranger than we can imagine. These profound words from scientist J.B.S. Haldane capture something deeply unsettling about our cosmic reality. Picture this: endless expanse stretching in every direction, reaching far beyond what our minds can grasp, potentially extending into infinity itself. This is space mightis, our home, scattered with celestial phenomena and mysteries we're only beginning to understand. For many, space represents breathtaking beauty. For others, it embodies pure terror. When we contemplate deep space imagery or ponder the cosmos, we can't help but feel a chill of dread, even if we don't fully surrender to it. What haunts us? The mind-bending vastness. The uncertainty of what dwells in those dark reaches. The enigmatic nature of cosmic phenomena. The monstrous scale of celestial objects. Here's what's truly disturbing. We can't decide what's more frightening: the mysteries we haven't solved, the horrifying truths we've already discovered, or the colossal voids of absolute nothingness that separate everything. This terror has a name: astrophobia, cosmophobia, or space phobia. Fear typically stems from the unknown, and the universe remains almost entirely mysterious to us. But space presents a unique horror. What we do know about it is often equally terrifying as what we don't. Each new cosmic discovery doesn't ease our fears, it amplifies them. We continuously uncover conditions out there that would make our darkest nightmares seem like peaceful retreats. When planets become hellscapes, consider planets, those seemingly comforting celestial bodies that should offer refuge amid cosmic chaos. While some might provide sanctuary, most couldn't be further from welcoming. These aren't the soft, adorable spheres decorating baby nurseries. Those cute mobile ornaments represent gaseous monsters, so hostile and bizarre, they would literally and figuratively blow a baby's mind. Take Jupiter, right here in our solar system. This gas giant spans 11 times Earth's width. Imagine comparing a grape to a basketball. Jupiter could swallow 1,300 Earths within its volume. If Earth ever wandered into Jupiter's orbit, gravitational forces would obliterate our planet. Should Earth somehow collide with Jupiter, our world would be absorbed into its atmosphere, incinerated, and merged with its gas clouds and liquid metal, like a drop of food coloring, dissolving completely in an ocean. Even with the most advanced theoretical technology, navigating Jupiter would be a nightmare expedition. You'd journey through miles-deep, rapidly swirling gas clouds, with winds reaching hundreds of miles per hour. Each mile deeper, darkness would intensify as sunlight becomes increasingly shrouded, until you finally reach the planet's outer mantle and plunge into a planet-wide ocean of glowing, white-hot liquid metallic hydrogen. Since Jupiter lacks a true surface, there's nowhere to land or stand. This is just within our own solar system. The exoplanet horror show. Before 1992, humanity wasn't even certain other planets existed beyond our solar system. These are called exoplanets, and current estimates suggest around 200 billion planets exist in our galaxy alone. Scientists estimate possibly 2 trillion galaxies exist in the known universe. That calculates to an estimated 20 to 100 quintillion planets total. Among these countless worlds are innumerable Earth-mites-like planets, but also innumerable hellscape planets that would embarrass even our solar system's most hostile worlds. Consider HD 189733b, located in the Vulpecula constellation, approximately 640 5 light-years from our solar system. This planet appears as a beautiful bright blue Earth-mite world, with soft oceanic swirls forming marble-like patterns resembling a refreshing Van Gogh masterpiece. However, conditions there are so gruesome, merciless, and strange they sound like cosmic horror fiction written by the most disturbed imagination. On HD 189733b, temperatures exceed 2000 degrees Fahrenheit, winds reach 400 miles per hour, 7 times the speed of sound, making them the fastest winds ever discovered in the universe. These constant winds whip rainstorms of molten glass shards sideways across the planet. Visiting this world would trap you in a fiery cosmic tornado composed of glass chunks that would shred you apart with near-might infinite cuts. Stars. Beautiful death machines. Stars. Those beautiful twinkling orbs of light, featured in children's nursery rhymes, are unfathomably more massive and powerful than nearly all planets. While Jupiter measures roughly 11 times wider than Earth, our Sun measures roughly 10 times wider than Jupiter. Our Sun is merely an average star at best. One of the largest known stars, red supergiant WOHG 64, has an estimated radius over 1,540 times that of our Sun. If this star replaced our Sun at our solar system's center, it would encompass the entire orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and Jupiter. While over 1 million Earths could fit inside our Sun, several billion of our suns could fit inside WOHG 64. That represents quadrillions of Earths, a star that's essentially a universe unto itself, composed of hot, luminous gas and energy at thousands of degrees Fahrenheit. A true hell. Twinkle, twinkle. Black holes, where reality breaks down. When massive stars, like WOHG 60-4 die, they create even stranger, larger, more powerful, and ominous entities, perhaps the most unfathomable and unsettling entities in the known universe. After a star exhausts its fuel, and the equilibrium between its radiation and gravity becomes disrupted, its core collapses. In a fraction of a second, it implodes on itself, resulting in a supernova explosion. If the star is large enough, what remains is a black hole minus 4, a region of space-time where gravity is so strong that nothing can escape it. Inside, at a black hole's center, exists what's known as a singularity, a point that is infinitely dense and infinitely small, where all conceptions of time and space break down. Why does a collapsing star create this? How can an apparently infinitely dense and infinitely small thing exist in the universe? What happens at or beyond the singularity? Does the singularity even really exist? We don't know the answers to any of these questions, but what we do know is that these galactic giants can grow to sizes so incomprehensible they make even the largest stars seem average. One of, if not the largest known black hole in the observable universe, is T-on 618. This black hole measures at least 240 billion miles in diameter, and likely much bigger, since it continues growing. That's roughly 11 solar systems side by side. This beast consumes galaxies worth of matter, while shining with the brightness of 100 trillion stars. The great nothing. What could possibly be bigger than that? Surely nothing. Well, that's exactly right. Nothing. The inconceivably massive void, separating everything. The cold, barren space between galaxies and superclusters of galaxies makes even TOAN 618 look modest. Intergalactic space, or the space between galaxies, comprises most of the universe's volume. Supervoids are specific regions with particularly massive spans of empty space, containing far fewer galaxies and objects compared to all other universal regions. One obscenely terrifying supervoid is known as Boötes Void, or the Great Nothing. Boötes Void has a diameter of around 330 million light-years. The black hole TOAN 618 has a diameter of around 0.04 light-years. That makes Boötes Void roughly 820 ms 5 billion times bigger than one of the universe's largest black holes. That's 330 million light-years of mostly uninterrupted, primarily cold, dead, dark space. The mere thought of this vast emptiness can paradoxically elicit an intense feeling of constriction and claustrophobia. The universal exodus. What could possibly be worse than this? Well, it gets worse. Perhaps the most unsettling fact and phenomenon of the universe is that Boötes Void, and all voids, and the universe in general, are expanding. Everything is spreading out. Everything in space, including us, is constantly moving, hurtling at speeds we can't even fathom. Right now, we're not simply rotating around our planetary axis and revolving around the sun. Our galaxy, and the group of galaxies we're part of, known as the local group, are moving through space at 13 million miles per hour. As a result of universal expansion toward disorder, eventually nearby galaxies will aggregate and then be spread further and further apart from the rest of the universe. In the distant future, we will become so far apart from other galaxies and galaxy clusters that they won't even be detectable or knowable anymore, no matter what technology a species might have. If humanity or any consciously advanced species exist in these new galaxy formations, it will appear as though the entire universe is only one's own galaxy. It will appear as though that's all the universe ever was, is, and could be. One can only wonder what is out there right now that we no longer have access to. In the words of renowned astronomer Edwin Hubble, with increasing distance, our knowledge fades and fades rapidly. Eventually, we reach the dim boundary, the utmost limits of our telescopes. There we measure shadows, and we search among ghostly errors of measurement for landmarks that are scarcely more substantial. The lonely voyagers right now, floating through the vast uncertainty of space, alongside these celestial monsters, are Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, interstellar space probes, launched by NASA in 1977. Voyager 1 is currently the farthest traveled human made object in space. On both Voyagers are what are known as the golden records, containing images, music, earthly sounds, spoken greetings, as well as instructions and symbols for the record and its origin. If everything else about space isn't unsettling enough, consider the fate of these space probes. The Voyagers and other space probes will potentially continue floating aimlessly through space for billions of years. If they do survive, at some point in the distant future, or even the not near so distant future, they will be all that's left of humanity, of Earth. The images, sounds, and technology contained within will no longer have a species to point to. Even if, in the theoretically best case scenario, humanity makes it the whole distance alongside these space probes, figuratively speaking, these space probes will still eventually dissolve away, and so too will humanity. So too will everything. Though we can never be certain how everything will unfold, it appears that the universe itself will reach its ultimate end. All energy is limited, everything is decaying. The voids are growing, and one final void will consume all things forever. The terrifying vista, in the words of author H.P. Lovecraft, the most merciful thing in the world, I think, is the inability of the human mind to correlate all its contents. We live on a placid island of ignorance in the midst of black seas of infinity, and it was not meant that we should voyage far. The sciences, each straining in its own direction, have hitherto harmed us little. But someday, the piecing together of dissociated knowledge will open up such terrifying vistas of reality, and our frightful position therein, that we shall either go mad from the revelation, or flee from the deadly light, into the peace and safety of a new dark age. Lovecraft wrote this passage in 1928, around 100 years ago. In some ways, one could argue that those terrifying vistas of reality are now open for many of us. The progression of humanity's sciences, technologies, and awareness has revealed a vast, terrifying, and indifferent universe, of which we are inescapably a part. The fear of space is not totally irrational. In many ways, it is fully justified. Finding peace in the terror. But the best way to deal with certain fears sometimes is exposure to the object of the phobia, so that one can see that although terrifying, it is not as dangerous as it appears. Look up. Look at the unending space of burning balls of fire, and planets of gas and molten liquid. Look at the unending, expanding void. Here you are, alive, on a planet that doesn't swallow you up and rip you apart, that doesn't send glass shards through your skin or burn you alive. You are at a place in the cosmos, positioned just right, at just the right time, that's just the right size for life to emerge, to evolve, and to create you. To allow you to know you exist, to feel love, happiness, pleasure, pain, fear. To be afraid is a kind of blessing. From this planet, you can watch as you rotate away from one of the most powerful phenomena in the cosmos. You can watch the sun as it sets and see and feel so much beauty that it can make your eyes well up with wonder and appreciation. That object would kill you from a different distance, but it gives you life from this distance. Rides are fun because they're scary, and for whatever reason, this ride is still going. Open your eyes, put your hands up, scream if you have to, and enjoy the fear while you can still feel it. Humanity's bold response. Despite the enormous and ominous nature of space, humanity has and continues to square up against it. Last month, SpaceX's Starship test highlights both humanity's hubris and our unbelievable abilities to extend our reach more and more into the unknown. With this video's sponsor, Ground News, I can follow and understand this monumental event with simple, curated access to all 170 articles covering the story, which you can access as well using my link or by scanning the QR code on the screen. At the top of Ground News's article page, we find a succinct summary of the SpaceX story from various perspectives, politically left, right, and center, and how these sources convey information differently. We can also see that only 12% of all articles covering the story come from right-meaning sources. So if you don't engage with left-meaning sources, or don't go through the process of intentionally diversifying your news sources, you could easily miss this story. This is true across the thousands of news stories collected from around the world by Ground News. Each story is organized in one place, and then provided with context on the various sources reporting on it, so that you can think critically and understand what is most likely happening. With Ground News's blind spot feed, unlike most internet algorithms that cater to our base desires or pre-mitize existing beliefs, Ground News helps us expand our perspectives and step outside our echo chambers, exposing us to not only new ideas but also important events that we might otherwise miss. Go to groundnews.com/pursuit or use the link in the description to subscribe today. If you sign up using my link, you'll get 40% off their Vantage plan and unlimited access to all their features. Ground News is a genuinely exciting display of human innovation, technology, and interest in truth and goodness. All we have is the structure and order of our civilizations down here on Earth, and down here, in our unbelievable and unlikely positions, we need to be aware of what's happening so we can remain effectively involved, careful, prepared, hopeful, and excited. And of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.